In this video, we're going to be looking at preparing artwork and putting it through a laser cutter to be laser cut into leather. So today we're going to be taking some artwork just from Google. We're going to be using Niall Wilson's logo. So Niall Wilson is a gymnast and a YouTube personality, social media star, things like that. First thing I'm going to do is save the artwork. Just take it straight down the highest quality image we can find and just save image as. Put it somewhere we can remember it. I'm going to take two different pieces of artwork here. I'm going to open Photoshop up, just with a custom size. It doesn't really matter as long as it's big enough to fit everything in, and import the artwork we've just downloaded. Set the size that it is because we're going to crop it anyway. We're going to crop it as small as we can get it, because we do want to try and cram as much into the area as possible that we're going to be lasering. So what I'm going to do is use the fill tool and fill all the black lettering in with black. As you can see, it changes colour ever so slightly here. This is really good because it is a solid logo, solid piece of artwork that we're going to be going over. We'll look at a coloured piece after this. I recommend jumping in, grabbing the pencil tool and stick it on black and zoom in and going pixel by pixel, just to make sure that you've got all the different bits and pieces. Different grey scales will sort of give you different depth of cut or depth of engrave, depending on your laser cutter and the software you're using. So if you just stick with black, you tend to get a nice solid engrave. We're going to make sure that we save the project. I'm also going to save this as a PNG file. Then we're going to create a new document because we're going to look at the coloured logo that we have. So we're going to take the one that we just downloaded, stick it back into a new document in Photoshop. This one here. So we're going to use the NW logo at the top. So this is in orange currently, and the laser engraver doesn't understand colours particularly well. It knows that black is for an engrave, blue is also for an engrave, for a raster engrave, which we're not going to be touching on, and red is for a cut line. So we're going to put these into black. As you can see here, it doesn't fill them in properly. So we're going to go image, mode, and change it to grayscale. Once we've got that, we can colour it in black, and if we needed to dress up any of the lines, do that here as well. I'm going to save this as a PNG file as well. Now we're going to open Inkscape. There's probably lots of other software out there which will help you with this process, but this is the way that I know, and this is the way that I'm very comfortable using. So we're just going to import the DXF outline file, which is available in the links below. I'm going to remove any of the excess lines that we don't need. So this pattern is what we use for this particular leather card wallet, and the lines on there are for sort of cut lines and fold lines and things like that as well. What we can do with this is clean the image up just a little bit. We're going to change the location because we can get that a little bit closer. So highlight it all and just drag it in. and then just change the document size, which I'll do there. I'm going to leave those other grid lines in there just as my reference points. Next thing I'm going to do is import the PNGs that we've just saved. So with this we can sort of size, scale and position to where we want it to go. So during the process of this I didn't really have a design idea in place. I was just sort of going with the flow to see where things would fit. So I do change this around a little bit as I'm going. I'm just going to resize this and drop it where I think I want it to go. And we'll do the same with the logo for the other side. Next thing I'm going to do is finalize everything, make sure all the colours are right, and get rid of any of the extra lines that we don't need. Like say black is for the engrave and red is for the cut. You don't have to do the cut. I'm going to save this as a .svg file. So the reason we use Inkscape because it can save this file type, and that is what the software uses to read and put it into the laser cutter. So I use K40 Whisperer. There's probably a newer version available. Just not downloaded it yet, but we'll put links below. So we're going to find the SVG file that we've just created, and we're going to open that up. So we need to make sure that we've initialized our laser cutter, everything's working, position it where you need it to be, and then click Open Design File, and it'll drop that in there. Give it a second. And there we have it. The red line on the left hand side does look slightly off on this, but it isn't. We'll see that once it's finished cutting. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that my speed is set. So I set the engrave to 350 mil and it's on 50% power. We're using a finished leather. This is Lamport from Metropolitan, 1.5 mil. And then we're going to go to the vector cut, which we've got at 250 mil. Also at 50%, we always cut last, just in case it shifts anything. It's a much more steady beam, as you can see, cutting all the way around. We could just mark this on and cut it out by hand. We do cut this out by hand later in the full video anyway. There's a full build along in the links below. If you have any questions, pop them underneath.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more leatherworking tips, tricks and build-alongs, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when new videos go live.